Welcome back, Renegades. Today we have the deck profile with some bonus gameplay with Lim heading out of the OP10 meta into EVO2. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe if you have not done so already. It helps the channel. Alright, all matches will be timestamped in the description. Let's get into it. This seems to be the most consistent, popular list that's been floating around. We're going to get into this. We're running 4 copies of a lot of cards. Sakazuki from OP9. 6 drop, 0 counter, no counter. 7k body. It says on play, if you have 2 or more rested characters in play, you get to KO up to one of your opponent's cost 5 or lower characters. So I believe most of the on play cards here, you need to have at least 2 or more rested. So we have 4 copies of Sabo from OP09. It's a 5 drop, 6k power, 1k counter. 1 attacking once per turn. If you have 3 or more rested characters in play, you draw 1 card. So if you're not familiar with what Lim does, I did a deck profile in 09. So this is like towards the end of now we're doing towards the end of O10, OP10, into going into EVO2. Lim's a 4 drop, a 4 life character from OP09, 5k power. Your characters enter the play as rested. And activate main once per turn. You may rest 3 of your Dawn to set 1 of your Dawn from your Dawn deck as rested. And then you get to play a cost 5 or lower Odyssey type character from your hand. So we are running, majority of the deck is Odyssey. It's a ramp deck at its core. It does have a very weird condition where everything has to come down rested, but it does help your characters, but it also makes it a little hard to counter with and protect your board. But we do remedy that with some of our cards. All right, so Doflamingo, OP09 card, 5 drop, 6,000 power, 1k counter. This is a blocker for the deck. And end of your turn, if you have 2 or more rested characters in play, you can just set him as active, which is great because you can put Dawn on him and pressure him, and then at the end of your turn, he just readies back as a blocker. So this is a 2k for the deck. Ace. A lot of people, the list that I was seeing, they were running like I think it was like a 2k audio or something like that. It was a promo. I don't have access to the promo, so I'm using this, something I can build and take to my locals. So with this list, I chose Ace as a 2k. If you have another 2k you'd like, put it in. It's fine. But it's a 5 drop, 5,000 power. This is the only issue. The 5k body makes it very easy to remove. But on play, if you have 2 or more rested characters in play, rest up to one of your opponent's cost 5 or lower characters. 9 out of 10 times, this is going to be a 2k in your hand, but it is a technical card for you if you need it. Searcher for the deck, we're running 3 copies of Lim from OP09. It's a 3/5, no counter. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Reveal up to 1 card with the Odyssey type other than Lim and put it in your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. And at the end of your turn, if you have 3 or more rested characters in play, you get to set this character as active. So it's very important when you're playing this deck to plan your plays out correctly, your end of turn. You make sure that you meet the requirements. When you ready Lim, make sure you have 3 rested, then you go in your Doflamingo, and so on. Yeah, very important. Just to get some reps in, just know the cards, know the sequencing you need to do at the end of your turn to maximize your protection of your board. All right, so we're running 4 copies of Newgate from OP10 to 5/6, 1k counter. This has on play, if you have 2 or more rested characters, you get to rest up to one of your opponent's characters of cost 5 or less, and then you get to KO up to one of your opponent's characters of 3 or less. So it doesn't have to be the same character, but it's just a good card. It helps get rid of blockers trying to go for that final game. One thing you'll notice is, like I said, Lim is an 09 leader. Lim was available in OP09, but OP10 really gave the deck the glue that held it together. And you'll see what I'm talking about when we get to this 1 card coming up. So this is another card from OP10. This is an L. It's a 5/6 with a 1k counter. On play, if you have 2 or more rested cards, draw 3 and discard 2. So it's a filter. You get to draw some cards, get rid of stuff that you don't need. Like if you have an extra Sakazuki with no counter, you need counter, just pitch it. It's fine. 4 copies of Draco Mihawk from OP10. It's on play, 2 or more rested. You can just set up to one of your cost 5 or lower Odyssey type characters as active, which is really good because this is really used this in combat. So you load up Dawn on one of your 5 or lower Odyssey characters, which is pretty much all of them except for Sakazuki. And then you just make a big swing in, then you use leader effect for 3, play down Mihawk, ready that character, and go again. It's really good. So it's a 5/6 It's good on its own, but being able to get an extra attack out of nowhere for 3 is really good. Alright, so this is Nami from OP10. She is a 2-drop 2K with 2000 power. She's mostly a 2K, but her effect is on play if you have 2 or more rested Odyssey type characters. Up to one of your opponent's rested Dawn will not become active during your opponent's next refresh phase. So if you know your opponent, like the matchups, and you're going against Shanks, for instance, you want to keep them off like their 8 Dawn turn so they can't play Silvers, or their 10 Dawn turn so they can't play Shanks or Blackbeard. You don't want them getting that 10 drop teach on you. Whatever your matchup is, if you know your matchup, you can play this to kind of throw your opponent off and starve them from what they normally would be wanting to do. So very versatile card. Most of the time it's a 2K, but don't be afraid to play this out and lock down some Dawn. Alright, so this right here is the card that made the deck playable. This is Lim from OP10. 1 drop, 1K power, or 1K counter, no power. Once per turn, if this character would be removed from the board by one of your opponent's effects, you may instead rest one of your Odyssey characters. That's cool with a little built-in protection, but the main reason she is what makes this deck playable is end of your turn, you may set up to one of your Odyssey type characters active. It doesn't have any condition about the cost, the power. If it has the Odyssey tag, you can ready it. This right here came out in OP10. I don't know why they didn't make it in 09, because this leader did not get any thought, and nobody was even looking at it really, besides like rogue players, because it just didn't make it was so hard to protect your board. But like you said, like you see here, most of the deck is OP10. This is an 09 leader with OP10 deck cards. So this is more of what has been showing up recently, which is a neat little tech. It's an extra 2K for the deck. It's a 1-drop. So it makes playing this down and then using a leader effect for 3 to get one of your other effects online, because you have to have like 2 or more, or characters rested. So this is that's what mainly it's in there for that. It's a 2K, so if you need it, use it. And it has an effect that says on play, reveal 1 artificial devil fruit smile from your deck and add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck. So it's just this card right here. The card literally does nothing in the deck at face value. But we do run one of, for the sole purpose of, you play this down, you go through your deck. There's only one of these in the deck. So you get to look through your entire deck. So if you know your deck, you'll know what's missing out of the deck, which is going to be in your life. So you'll be able to kind of determine, well, I've got all my 2Ks in my deck, so I know that a lot of my life counters are going to be 1K, or vice versa, or I have the one, I don't see top knot. Okay, that's 1 up in the deck. Where's it at? It says in your life. So that's what it's there for. It's just to help you get some information. And it's also a free card for you to pitch to an L when you're filtering. But yeah, that's what this is for. I know it looks out of place if you're not familiar with Lim. It's definitely an out-of-place card, but we're just running the 4 of these as a 2K counter, an additional 1-drop character to help play off our on-play abilities, and a way to get some knowledge about what's in the deck and what's in life based off of us looking through our deck for the Devil Fruit. Alright, another 2K for the deck is Usopp from Starter Deck 18. This is a 3-drop, 3000 power, 2K counter. On play, if you have 8 or more Dawn, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost 5 or less. Alright, so like I said, we are a ramp deck at its core. We ramp by using her ability. We get 3 rest, we use 3, then we gain an additional Dawn, and then play out a character. So this right here will help you get around some blockers, maybe a character that you want to remove from the field. Then they're not resting it down for any reason. This will help you get through that. It is 5 or less, so you can't rest a 10 drop, but it's versatile. Mostly a 2K, but the effect is viable if needed. And like I said, we are running 1 copy of Top Knot from OP3. It's a 2-drop event, main event, Dawn -2. Return up to one of your opponent's character cards with a cost of 4 or less to the bottom of its owner's deck. So we have no cost reduction in this deck, however, but there's a lot of 4-drops and less that we want to get rid of, get them off the field. Jesus Burgess is the main one. Lucky Roo. the if you want to get rid of the Sanji or the Tony Chopper 2K counter blocker. There's just a lot of cards it hits, and it has a trigger to activate this main effect. So we're just running a 1 of this. It's just kind of like your ace in the hole. You don't need it, but when you need it and it shows up, it feels real good. But yeah, this is Lim for the end of OP10 meta. We're going to be going into EVO2. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Definitely give it a try in The Sims. It's definitely fun. Lim versus Shanks. We're going to go first. We're going to mulligan this. Get our Dawn pass it to the opponent. Using their search event here. They didn't find anything. Back over to us. We're going to draw a card. We're going to just go 5, forcing them to use their leader effect. Using our leader effect, we're going to play down Lim. We're going to grab Doflamingo. Pass turn. We're going to play Lucky Roo, which is good for us, because we can use Top Knot to get around it. 5 here. We're going to say no block, and we're going to give them a counter. All right. We're going to 6 Dawn now. We're going to use Top Knot. Just getting rid of Lucky Roo out of the equation. We're going to play down Doflamingo. We're going to go 5 into life with our Lim character. See where they want to use the leader effect at. All right, they're going to use it there. And then we're going to just go 6K with our leader. Okay, 2K out. All right, let's pass turn. We're going to ready our Doflamingo blocker. 2 on their leader, 3 total. They're going to go 8K into life, I'll take. Well, they left 3 open Dawn, so probably have some events to do. We're going to go 10 with Doflamingo. They take that hit. We're going to go 5. See where they want to use their leader effect at. Right on the limb. Go 5 again. They take that hit. We're going to use our leader effect here to play down Mihawk, readying our Doflamingo. Pressuring another 10K swing. They take that hit. We're going to fast turn. We're going to ready our Lim and our Doflamingo. We're going to play down their Ben Beckman, trashing our Doflamingo. They have 1 open Dawn. They can pressure a 6K here, which we will counter. We're still going to counter. Back over to us. We're at 10 Dawn. They have no open Dawn. They have 8 cards in hand, so a lot of options. So we're going to go 7 with our Lim first. They're going to get use leader effect on the Lim, making it a 6K. All right, countering up. We're going to go 6 with our leader. We still have a lot of cards in hand, so we're trying to just get some of this down. Another counter out. Okay. We're going to go 10 into life with our Mihawk. They take that hit. We're going to use our leader effect. We're going to play down another Mihawk, readying that Mihawk and pressuring another 10K swing. They take that one. And we're just going to pass turn. We do ready our Lim. They're going to play down Rush Luffy, the one from Starter Deck 21. They're going to play down Sanji Blocker, which is good. We do have Usohachi, if we want to rest that blocker out of the way. So they're going to go 7 with their Ben Beckman. We're going to counter this for a 2K. They're going to use their Rush Luffy going 6, and then where are they putting the rested Dawn at? Here. We're going to counter out. They're going to get one of these Mihawks, but that's all we can do. Because I wanted to have this Usohachi to rest their blocker. No, I think it's better to save it, just so we have the extra body to swing. Alright, so we're going to play 3 for our Lim. I think we're going to grab... Alright, we got it. Pona scooped it up. Here we have Lim versus Doflamingo post-ban. We're going to go first. We're going to mulligan this, looking for that 1-drop. There it is. The 1-drop is very crucial to the game plan, being able to protect your characters early without using all your counter out of hand. So we're going to get our Dawn and just play down our 1-drop Lim, pass the turn, standing it. Alright, they're going to play down a Perona here. They put the cards on top of the deck. Alright, over to us. We're going to use Lim's ability here to get our Sabo down. And we're just going to pressure a 5K swing into life. Take this hit, and then we'll just end the turn, readying our Sabo. Alright, opponent's going to put 2 onto their leader, pressuring a 7K swing into life, revealing Boa Hancock blocker. Alright, they're going to deploy that down, using its effect, putting cards on top of the deck, and giving probably the leader a rested Dawn. This will be an 8K swing. We're just going to take this hit. Alright, Sengoku coming down, searching for a 7 Warlord. They found another Boa blocker. Alright, over to us. So we have the Mihawk here, which is pretty good. Debating how we want to get this down. I think we have 6 to play with, so we're going to deploy down a Limb Searcher first. We're going to grab an L. Then we're going to use Leader Effect. We're going to play down an L, drawing 3, trashing 2. We're going to probably trash a Sakazuki. A lot of 2Ks. We really can't afford to give those up, so we're going to get rid of a Sabo. And then we'll go 6 into life with our Sabo, drawing us a card. So we have a lot of 2Ks here. And then this 3-drop Limb will be able to ready itself at the end of the turn, and then we'll be able to ready another character. We're going to go 5 into life with our leader. Alright, they're going to counter. And we're just going to pass turn. We're going to ready the 3-drop Limb first, and then we'll ready the Sabo. The NL was on play, so it's just a 5/6 body. The Sabo can continuously give us card advantage if they don't put it back in hand or bottom deck it. We do run a single copy of Top Knot in the deck as well. We're going to play down a Jozu here. They can return a 6 or lower. They're going to put the Sengoku back in their hand and the Sabo back in ours. They can only pressure the NL with their blocker. If they want to do that, that's great. 5 into life, we're going to take... We did get the Doflamingo blocker, which is good. They are going to pressure. Okay. We're going to just... I think we're going to give them the Sabo. They put it back in our hand. We have a lot of cards, so... Over to us. We do draw another 1-drop Limb, which is great. That way we can ready 2 bodies at a time. So we can pressure a massive swing here if we want. I'm going to go 8 into their blocker first with our Limb. We're going to go 5 into life with our leader. We're going to put 2 on our Enel. And we're going to pressure an 8K swing into life. We're going to use our leader effect here to play down Mihawk, readying our Enel. And then we're going to pressure another 8K swing into life. They take this hit. We're just going to end turn, making sure that we ready the 3-drop Limb first. And then we'll ready Enel. We're going to choose to ready Enel, and then we'll do the other Limb. That way we have both of these guys protected, at least for combat. Like I said, we have we have 6 2Ks in hand, plus a Doflamingo blocker. They're going to play down a Marshall D Teach here. Allows them to place cards on top of their deck and then feed their leader or character to Rested Dawn. Essentially turning their leader's ability on, which is pretty cool. So they can pressure the Mihawk. We could save it if we want to, but we need to protect our life a little bit more right now. Because they're getting to the point where they're going to start swarming out. They put something on top, which means they're going to cheat it out with leader, more likely. And Jojo's a big body already. Alright, leader up to 9K. Alright, they scooped it up. We got it. Limb versus Usopp. We're going to mulligan this. We got the 1-drop Limb, which is good. Having this in hand is not the greatest, but it gives us a card to filter out. So they're going to play down their Leo, resting their leader. They're going to grab 2 Dressrosa type cards. They're going to grab Gates and Rebecca. Over to us. 2 Dawn, we're just going to play down our Limb, end turn, and ready it. Just pass back. So Limb can be safe until they drop the Coliseum. Then if this is rested at any point or they have the Luffy, they can pressure into it. There's a Coliseum. Their blocker. 5 into life. We will take... Getting a couple of these blockers is pretty good. Over to us. We did get the Enel, which is great. So, got a lot of Enel. Alright, so we're going to try to filter a little bit. So we're going to attack with the Limb. Just 0. Just so we have that other rested character there. And then we're going to use our leader effect. We're going to play down Enel so we can filter a little bit. We're definitely getting rid of the Devil Fruit Smile. And then 1 more card. I think the Enel is probably good to get rid of. We'll put 1 on our leader, and we'll just go 6 into life. Alright, 2K counter out. We're going to pass turn, and we will ready our Limb. We have a couple 2Ks here. We can try to protect Enel. Cavendish is coming down. That's pretty good. So it's going to be a 7 here, which is fine. It's just a 2K. We're going to give them that ace. And they have a 5 into life. They can take... we'll take that one. Getting a Searcher. Over to us. So here's a 2K now, or we can another cheap body to play out rested. We're going to go 10K into this Cavendish, see if they want to give up the blocker, or 5K worth of counter. Then we'll go 5 into life. They take this hit, Now we're going to use the leader effect here. We're going to play down our Mihawk, readying our NL, and then we're going to go another 10k into life. Or into a Cavendish, sorry. We're going to pressure that Cavendish again, 10k. Alright, we do get the Cavendish, so we'll just pass the turn. We're going to just ready our NL. Alright, here they dropping the 7-drop Rebecca and the Monkey D. Loopy. Can attack active characters. This is the one I was talking about with the Coliseum. So more than likely they're going to smack Lim, because that's the only one they can pressure board-wise. So 5 into life here. We're just going to say no block. And we're just going to give them... We're going to give them the Newgate. It's not as good in this matchup as others. They didn't pressure Lim, which was surprising. Alright, so we're at 10 Dawn now. We could just poke, or we can... So we only have like 2 extra Dawn to play with, because we wanted to play both of our Doflamingos this turn. So we're just going to see how many 2Ks they got in hand. We're going to go 6 with our Mihawk. Okay, it looks like they took the hit. We're going to go 6 with an L. So unfortunately, that's Luffy is going to be able to answer those blockers, at least one, because they need to have 7 cards. So, I mean, they'll probably have 7 cards to ready it again. Alright, so now we're going to go 5 into life with our leader. Yeah, we're just filling the discard. We're filling their trash, unfortunately, so Luffy's going to be able to do some damaging swings. But if they're putting this to focus on the blockers, it should be okay. Alright, so we're going to use our leader effect here to play down a Doflamingo blocker. And then we're going to play down another Doflamingo blocker. And then we're going to use Top Knot just to get rid of this body, the Leo. That way they can't use that to pressure us. So we're going to ready the Doflamingos first, and then we'll ready the Mihawk. So the Enel is available to, I mean, they're all available to pressure with Luffy, but Enel is the only one that they can freely pressure. That's a big hit coming through. They gave it plus 6,000, just plus 6,000. Okay, so yeah, they got that. They got the blocker out of the way. And now they're going to ready it and probably go for the other blocker. If they go after Enel or Lim, I think I might let them have it because I kind of value the blocker a little bit more. All right, that's 7k worth of counter, which we do not have even close to. So they got they took out both the Doflamingos here. But now this Luffy is froze, so it won't be able to ready on their turn. All right. So if one of your characters may attack active. Okay, so now they're gonna go here into this Lim. I'm not gonna save that. It's just not worth it. So then we have a 10k swing here. I think we're gonna save it. I need 2, 4. Yeah, I'm gonna have to use all my counter out of hand. But I want to have that extra body on field to pressure back. Okay. So we're going to go 9 into life with an L. 9 into life with Mihawk. Oh, the trigger from King Kong gun. So hopefully we can do this. We're going to go 9. See what they got. Well, they still have 6 cards in hand. A lot of counter. 2. Yep, there it is. Alright, so they were able to counter out of this hit. With what they have on the field, we should be okay. Because this is going to take a lot of Dawn to get out of. That's going to take care of business. It's just 10k. No double attack. They still have 7 to work with. They can go 8. They can go 10. Yeah, they can have the board. That's fine. It's a 9k here. That's fine. So now they're not pressuring life. They only got 3 cards. They did put it on a blocker. Alright, so we're going to start with our Limb Searcher. Yep, we were looking for the Newgate, and we did get it. And then we're going to use our Leader Effect to play down Newgate, rest the blocker, get rid of it. They can draw a card. And then we're going to go 9 into life with Lim. And we got it. We have Lim versus Teach, post-ban. We're going to go first here. We're going to mulligan this. We got the 1-drop Lim. All right, so we're going to get our Dawn. We're going to play the 1-drop, and we're going to pass turn, readying it. They do run .Q, which will answer this immediately. Unfortunately, but we have to get it out. We can't sit there and hold it. It doesn't do any good in the hand. What'd they do? They used their search event, and they got the 10-drop. All right, passing back over to us. I'm going to draw. We're at 3 Dawn now. We could stop a 4-drop play if we wanted to with this, but I do think our best bet is to just attack for 5. I take that hit. We're going to use Leader Effect to play down Savo. We're going to pass turn, readying the Savo. Alright, so they just black hold us and they're going to pressure 5. We're going to take this hit. We do get the Sakazuki. They're going to play down Jesus Burgess. We cannot KO it, so unfortunately, we can only rest it and then try to pressure into it, which we can do. Right now is probably the best time to do it. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to go attack 0 with my limb, just so I have the extra rested body. Then I'm going to use my leader effect to... Doesn't matter, because... It does not matter, because my on-plays are shut off. We know how that works. So I'm going to go 9 into life with my Savo, drawing a card. Then I'll attack for 5. They're going to counter out of this hit. We're just going to pass back. I believe we're just going to ready the Savo. It's more important, I believe, right at this present moment. Unfortunately, with the on-plays being shut off, this is going to be a hard matchup to get through. So they're shutting off our on-plays, which is smart. They're going to keep the on-plays off. Getting rid of our 0-drop limb, our 1-drop limb. They still have a 7-drop Burgess, or 7k Burgess. We're going to make it an 8k going here. We're going to give them the double 2k. Just because we need to apply pressure, because if they're using their cards out of hand to shut up our on-plays, then we need to make sure that they don't have the cards in hand to counter out of hits. They're going to play down Van Auger, passing it back to us. Alright, so we're at 9 Dawn now. They did shut off our on-plays again, as expected. So what we're going to do, we are going to put... Let's put 3 on our ace, and we'll pressure an 8k swing. So they're going to counter out here with a... Okay. That's pretty good for us. So here we're just going to go... This is now an 8k body. Let's use leader effect. Playing down Doflamingo. We're going to go 9 into this Burgess, which we were lucky enough to get, and then we'll go 5 into life. We got that as well. Alright, so we're just going to pass turn. Our blocker's going to ready. We were lucky enough to get rid of this Burgess before it got out of control. So now we just got to try to protect what we have. Like I said, if they're going to keep shutting off our on-plays, we need to focus on pressuring enough to make sure they can't counter out of hits. So now we're putting the opponent in the position where they need to debate whether they want to shut my on-play or if they don't want to take a life. Because they only got 2. They're at 8 Dawn. They're still a turn away from the 10-drop. They have no search way to find it. So here they're going to put 2 on Van Auger, going 8 into 5 here. They're definitely trying to take this guy out. I could counter out, but I think I'm just going to let them have it. The Savo's more important right now. So they have, what, 5 they're going to... yeah, this one we're going to counter. There's no question about that. And they have 5. Was that finger gun, maybe? No, they're going to play Kuzan, getting Burgess back. Oh, no, Vasco shot. See, now we put them in that. Now they're no longer the aggressor. They're backpedaling. All right, so we got to be careful with triggers out of life. Let me check their life here. Does this negate the effect? Okay, but it doesn't actually KO, right? So we're going to go 8 into this Van Auger with our Doflamingo. All right, so you get to draw a card from the KO effect. We're going to use our leader effect to play down another Doflamingo. We're going to go 9k into life and drawing another card. We're going to use our blocker here. And then we'll go 7 with leader. Alright, and then we'll just pass turn. We're going to ready our blockers, keeping Savo at least protected from combat. We have a couple 2Ks. We have a lot of Sakazukis, which aren't doing anything, but they are rebuilding their hand size. Here comes the 10-drop. 10-drop isn't going to be enough to save them, though, because we'll still have 3 swings. They didn't shut off our on-play this turn, either. Okay, but Savo can out-attack. So we're going to go 10 with Doflamingo. These are blocker right off the bat. Let's go 8 with Doflamingo. So they were to get rid of one of our Doflamingos. All right, so here, do we go 9, or do we wait and shut them off from dropping another 10-drop? I think we go 9. I think we just try to close this game out. That's the only thing we can do. We go 9, and we got it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.